Hello, everybody. You're very welcome here today to the Connected Advice podcast. I'm your host, Paul Redmond. And today, what we're talking about is the clarity map. And what is a clarity map? And in this context, the clarity map is having a picture of your whole life on one page. You can only use one page and you'll be able to see everything on it. Why do we do this and why do we begin with this? Because myself, as a busy person, the same as everybody else is, but there is so much comes at you in terms of work and business and personal and finances and everything that needs to be done. That's really difficult at times to see the wood from the trees. So in order to help that, we have created this map where we plan everything out on one page. Because as well as kind of multiple companies, multiple pensions, people dealing with trust, personal wealth, family obligations, business obligations, suppliers, customers, overwhelm becomes a big issue here. And, contextually, you could have 12 or 14 different reports to look at, and you could have 5 or 6 advisors, but you have zero clarity. So you don't know actually yourself what direction you're moving in and what way you can help or improve that. So it's a little piece of work that you do yourself personally. It's not done by anybody else. It really needs to be done by you. And it's a visual of your entire world. And how do we break it down? And what's the best way of breaking down a clarity map? And for me, the way I break it down is I break it down over 5 headings. And the 5 headings are businesses and entities. So list all of your businesses and all of your entities on one sheet of paper. The next part I do is personal wealth. So I list all of my personal wealth. Headline information now is all we're talking about. And whether you have pensions, business value, homes, mortgages, all of that personal wealth goes together in a synopsized version and you list that out. The next thing you list out is family and legacy structures. So do you have a sole trader? Are you in a partnership? Do you have a holding company? Do you have international businesses? What's the structures? Is there a holding company and trading companies, investment companies? Self-administered pension. So all of these need to get just listed out from 1 to whatever number that is. And that gives you an idea of the structures. The next part, and it might seem a little bit strange, but the context of this is a clarity map to understand your financial life. So therefore, what we list is a professional relationship. Like, do we have accountants, tax advisors, financial advisors? We list all of those together to see the list of all the names. And the next part then is strategic objectives. So what are we actually trying to do and what are objectives of what we're trying to achieve? And you're asking yourself when you're filling these out are, where am I now, right now, today? So if I was to stop everything today, take a balance sheet of my life today, where am I? And again, we look back to discovery, planning and execution. We're always using those 3 words. So where am I now? So today I am here and this is my position today. Why is this one page really important? Because complexity leads to overwhelm. The more complex you have, and you can understand the complexity, but the more complex something is, the more difficult it is to hold in your head. So owners don't really need to have a list of the complexities. They don't need to have a ring binder with 15 sections in it and those 15 sections. They need to have a lens so they can look through this lens and this lens open up a whole world behind them. So when you prepare your map, what usually happens with clients when you sit down and you prepare the map is usually 2 things. And I'd say these are 90% of the time these 2 things happen. Number 1 is surprise. Number 2 is usually relief. So the surprise section of this is, like I've often seen people, I didn't know that entity was still alive. I thought that was closed down, or I didn't know that bank account was there. I didn't understand that the bank account still had that money in it. I didn't know that bill was still outstanding. I thought my will was up to date, but now looking ahead, it's not up to date. My pension hasn't been looked at in the last 3 years. There's nobody really managing that. I just put the money in and I expect when I get to pension age, this is going to be there for my financial future. I don't have a plan for my business succession. All of these are questions, and they're surprise questions to come up with that one clarity map, with that one page. How does the clarity map change your decision making? So if you were to sit down and you've got your clarity map, how does it now change what you're trying to achieve, like the next decisions you're going to make? Well, for me, it'll do a couple of things. It'll show you the issues and the opportunities. So this is an issue, I need to deal with this. This is an opportunity that I have currently today. So those issues and opportunities listings are really important, because when you have an issues and opportunities list, you can take the next action and the next project. After you do the issues and opportunities, that's giving you another clarity on what and who you need to speak to or what you need to talk about next. The other thing is it will identify gaps and misalignments. So if you expect, your expectation is that this is here and this is doing this thing, but once you do the clarity map, you're going to see this gap. Once you see the gap, you're going to understand that something needs to be done about this, or you'll see something in a different light. Oh, I didn't understand that was that way. The next thing you need to look at is you need to take one particular thing on your clarity map, like your business structure. Is that business structure okay? Does it need to be, do I need to change my business structure? Is this what my accountant and tax advisor was asking me to look at? And it gives you that question. You're asking, this is all about asking the right questions once you have it done. I've seen in situations where people, when they've done the clarity map, they realised they had duplicate insurance policies in place. I've seen strange situations like a person was paying a life assurance policy for their brother-in-law. Couldn't believe it. This thing was being paid for 10 years, just set up out of the wrong bank account. So the clarity map starts the conversations and it helps you get down really deep then after. But all I want to know from the clarity map is, where am I today? Have I covered everything? Have I listed everything that I need to understand? And by listing all of this stuff, I now know where to get help and I now know where I need help to do the next thing. So how can you begin to draft up your own clarity map? Well, I suppose the first thing you do is you have to understand the three areas. So what I'm trying to discover, so you have to just gather all the information that you have in one place, gather all your main documents in one place, or do a brain dump of your brain down on a sheet of paper to say, write the list of 1 to 20 and get rid of everything that's in your head in terms of this, trying to find out what the clarity is. That's a brilliant exercise. So you gather the documents and you look through your goals and you understand what the goals you're trying to achieve. And then when you have the goals and you have all of this clarity map, that's really the discovery part. The next move that you need to do is go back up to the 5 steps and list them in the areas that we spoke about in the 5 steps, your personal business, your professional relationships, your business structures, and all of those. So that'll give you the visual mapping of the discovery portion of this. And then you need to figure out the connection point, this part to the next part, and how to connect the next part to the next part. So that connection points, what are the main connection points I need to understand? And once I have the connection points, that's giving you enough to prepare a rough draft and show the blind spots that you couldn't see before. But you get the sense that you're in control. And I think that's the biggest thing for a business person or any human being, is to feed that feeling of I want to be in control of what's going on. And when I'm in control, I want to say, right, now at least I can feel that my subconscious brain is not constantly working trying to close this loop. I have it written down and I have it laid out. When you have all of this clarity map done, all your advisors are now working off the same map. And that changes every single thing for you, because the advisors are doing the best trip that they can do and the best thing that they can do for you personally, but they're not necessarily what you want. So you have a piece of information, you put your advisors together, everyone is working off the same plan. So the solicitor is working off your tax plan, the financial advisor is working off in connection with your tax advisor, the accountant has a lot of foresight, so he's pulling all of this together and working with your tax advisor. The planner knows how you fit risk into all of this. So now you can start to see that by a simple one-page document, it's connecting everything that you need to do. So you're now not the go-between anymore. The clarity map becomes a shared playbook, and that's important. Just think about that. Your clarity map becomes your shared playbook. So I suppose now, what's the big takeaway from this? And for me, the big takeaway is, it's very simple. If you can't see it, you can't lead it. So if you can't see the journey ahead of you, how are you going to help to lead that journey with all the people around you and behind you? And it turns this overwhelm into huge confidence, and it makes you the leader of your own plan and not the administrator. Because we don't want to be the administrator of our own plan. If we're the administrator of our plan, we're too low down in terms of really getting to achieve what we really want to. Thank you so much, and I will chat to you on the next episode.